All right. Welcome back, everybody. This is just one of the many knives, Swiss Army knives. I think one of my earliest collections resided mostly with a Swiss Army knife. I ended up getting rid of it. It was broken. It just kept breaking, but I ended up getting some new ones. And I've had them ever since. I hardly ever use them. I'm not really one of those guys, but let's get into it. Let's talk blades, everybody. That's what we're into. Sorry, I'm trailing off there. Trying to reminisce on old times. This knife in particular kind of caught my eye. I believe I got this knife at a Big Five. Anyways, introducing the Victorinox Trekker. At least that's what I think this is. I'm pretty sure it's the Trekker. They call it the one-handed Trekker. And I believe they call it that because you should be able to open the main blade with this little hole right there. It's already got the half serrations, but the half serrations are not on the bottom, they're actually on the top. So you have the serrations on the top. Oh, that's too bright. Oh, what the heck. I'm trying not to... Okay, let me just turn that off. Sorry about that. The glare is kind of just all over the place right now. So with this particular knife, the serrations are at the top of the blade rather than the bottom. And then, of course, you have the regular blade on the bottom. Sorry, I don't mean to blind you guys. I think I do need a little bit of light. So there's no actual markings on this other than that right there, Swiss-made Victorinox. It's a stainless steel. I'm not entirely sure what the steel is on this knife. I get a little confused when it comes to Victorinox, which is one of the reasons why I don't really carry them too much. It's a decent steel, but I haven't really used a Victorinox knife for anything more than just its, proprietary tools that it already has. So this one has a few interesting ones. And if I do get some of these things wrong, please let me know in the comment section. I'm not a huge fan of knowing what these knives have. I just like the way it looks and the functionality of it. So you got the sawtooth blade right here for sawing. And yes, it is quite sharp. So you got to be careful with that. And it is a little bit of ways to get it. I had to put my thumbnail right here in order to get it. So that's a really neat safety kind of thing. It's just best to have that not so easily accessible. And it also has just a couple of other simple tools here. You got your, it looks like a bottle opener and your Phillips flathead. And on this side is your, I do not want to hit my hand on that blade. It's going to suck. Excuse me a second. There we go. And you got your can opener. And I believe that's a smaller Phillips right there if you need to see it that way. Some sort of pry. Like I said, if I get some of these tools wrong, because I have others that are going to be a part of this series, please let me know. Forgive me if I get it wrong. I believe this is an all... Ah, there it is. That was a pain in the butt to get out. Whenever I have an awl on my knife, I tend to use this for just like trying to dig out things in small places. I never really use it to try and carve holes or whatever, but it does have a little sharp portion right there that I can feel with my finger. And then, of course, you got your little tool bit right there. So that's always good to have. And, of course, what is a Victorinox? What is a Victorinox without the essential tweezers? And toothpick, which I never use unless I'm actually trying to pry something out of something else. There's something very small. If I'm trying to get at it, if I'm trying to reset something in electronical, whatever, this would be great because it's small. It's, it's just tiny to get at stuff. I never put anything in my mouth that I know has been in my pocket, like something like this, but I guess that's what it's meant for. It's a toothpick. I always thought that was a little funny and a little useless at the same time, but hey, there's people out there that might need it. The tweezers are quite useful. They really are. They're not really effective. They don't really grip as well at stuff. But you got them if you need them, you know? Got your little loop right here for any type of lanyard you want to attach, which I kind of went through a phase where I was putting lanyards on knives. Not like that anymore. So, one thing that really perplexes me about this knife is it's great to open up with one hand. But the unlocking of it, instead of pushing down, it's kind of backwards. You have to push up, you know? So you have to, instead of pushing left, you got to go right. And that's a little bit, I got to be honest, it's a little bit funky to me. That's not something I'm really used to, pushing it this way in order to get that unlocked and going. That doesn't really bother me. It really doesn't. It's just one of those weird things about the knife that it works, but it's gonna gotta, kind of get used to, that sort of thing. Now the price tag on this, I really don't remember how much I spent on it. A lot of times when I go to Big Five, I usually buy things. When I buy knives from Big Five, I usually buy them when they're on sale because I just feel like you get a better deal on them. If I remember correctly, this Trekker costed me a little less than, I want to say a little less than $35. And that could be because that they were trying to get rid of it, or they were just trying to make room for more inventory. This was a while back. I really don't remember how much this knife costs. But I'm sure you can find it. Just look up the Victorinox one-handed Trekker, and I'm pretty sure a few variants of this knife will come up, different colors. There's just so many. So this is a useful knife. It does not have a pocket clip. It did not come with a sheath of any kind. It didn't come with anything. It was just by itself in the box, just like this. So we'll go ahead and get into the specs of it. Now that I've gotten all the little tooly stuff out of the way, so we'll go into how much it weighs. So a hefty 4.60 ounces. So this is decent. It's right under 5 ounces. I'll go ahead and get into the blade length of just the main blade. So the main blade is 3 1/4 inches with an overall 7.5 inches, if that matters at all. And I'm assuming that the saw is probably about the same, but we can go ahead and check it out just for the moment. Yeah, a 3.5 inch reach, but a 3 3/8 inch with all those little teeth. So yeah, it's a tad bit. Would I use this for anything? Is this a great EDC? In my professional opinion, because I'm not a professional, in my personal opinion, I should say, I've only carried this once. I dropped it in my back pocket. It was really kind of just heavy and clunky in my back pocket. I would much rather prefer a pocket clip knife, and that's what leads me not to carry Victorinox knives too often. If I do, it's smaller than this. I just like the look of it. I really liked that it was black. I really do like, the look of the black and red on there. It's really nice. The only downer, like I said, it just kind of weighed a little bit in the pocket, and it has no pocket clip. So the way you carry this is all on you. I'm sure that there are some closure cases that you could slip this in with, Velcro and the little snap and whatever. This is great for a backpack. This is good for, your little SHTF scenario bag if you have one, or a little bug out bag. This would be good for that. Would this be my main blade? No, this would not. It's just a multi-tool with a few bells and whistles that I, to this day, don't see the need in having in my pocket. I don't always need a bottle opener. I don't always need a can opener. I definitely do not always need a serrated blade edge. And I don't ever need a saw blade for anything. But if you're a backpacker, a hiker, a camper, whatever you want to call yourself, in the need and the looking for a knife like this might be the one for you. Now, as far as it holds in the hand, it feels a little awkward because you feel all the little tools, but it's not uncomfortable. There's no jimping anywhere. It's just there. It's in your hand. You can use it if you feel you need to. And, the locking mechanism is a little bit weird because you got to push it this way instead of that way. But whatever. I mean, it is what it is. There's no texturing on this. It's really quite smooth. So grip is a little bit, if it, it might play a factor on whether it'll make it or break it in your opinion on wanting to carry something like this. But I guess that's all in the necessary need of whether or not you feel like you need that and all this rambling. So, there it is. I have a few more Victorinox and some Leathermans I want to go through, so stay tuned for that. Go ahead and slash that like button, stab that subscribe. And in these weird, weird times, please be kind, be safe, and carry responsibly. And I'll see you guys in the next video.